And I'm getting my notes, move my notes around. But she found out when she was 15 that he wasn't her real father. But the thing was, she was from a strict religious household, very strict, in the Asian community, they're very strict, no matter what country they're in outside of whatever it came from, outside of Asia or China or Korea, Japan, whatever. And I think when she found out that the father she thought was her father wasn't her real father, I think that affected her to the point to where, once she started to get more freedom to be out and about on her own, she started to thought around, especially once she got to college. I'm telling y'all, once these women get to college, all bets are off. All bets are off once they get to college, And that's what it seems like is going on with her. Also, I heard a lot about depression, suicidal. Shout out to Raiders 48. And all because she did not have the proper father figure. That does not help. When you don't have a father figure there for you, it's going to fuck you up. It's going to mess you up really bad for a lot of women. Dudes, if a guy has a father figure, he's not going to be affected as much as a woman who doesn't have a father figure, because she's going to look for love in the wrong places, And she talked about being depressed, having suicidal thoughts from an incident. Now, she didn't go into detail what the incident was, but something happened in her childhood or when she was a teenager. Something happened and she wouldn't discuss it, but, Also, she has no relationship with her family whatsoever. None. And you know what happens when you don't have a relationship with your family, especially as a woman, you're going to become clingy, which is what one of them said. They said that they became very clingy. Shout out to Richard Bilbo. And I'm telling you, when these women who come from a strict household get a little taste of freedom, man, they're going to get used up. And this particular female talked about basically partying and sleeping around, Let's see. The father issues are very evident. It's very evident in a lot of women. And I think that that's why it's important, if you're dealing with a woman, to deal with a woman who had a father in her life. Because if you deal with a woman who doesn't have a father in her life, you're going to see exactly why she's so messed up, Because to me, if a woman doesn't have a capable, logical male in her life, she's going to go looking for that in the men she dates, i.e. women dating men who are extremely older than them. Women who are clingy to their boyfriends. They might even get married at young ages, just to escape their surroundings, because there may be abuse there, Now, I know that for me, being around the type of women, I've been around all types of women. Women from good households, women from very bad households, And when I was really young, I noticed that the boys who come from single parent households, they had to be the man of the house, because the mother not only did not have his father in his life, but didn't have a man there to mentor him to be in his life, because maybe her father wasn't in her life, or she doesn't really have any male family members who can help, with her children, as far as being that male figure there. So these kids grow up running the streets looking for family, looking for father figures, and we know what that leads to. You got women who are looking for father figures in the men they date. You got men who look for father figures in dudes who run the streets, who sell the dope, who are gang banging, leading them down a very bad road, you know? Everything starts at home, you know? Everything starts at home. And we have to really look at that, because if we don't look ourselves in the mirror, we're doomed to make the same bad choices over and over and over, you know? Now I want y'all to understand, I am a skeptic. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I don't have a theory on this happening and that happening, but I am skeptical of a lot of things. But I've seen with my own eyes what happens when a woman raises children and no one helped raise her. She probably ran away from home when she was 15 or 16. She don't know what a family is. She don't know what a father is. Her mother was probably abusive. Mother's boyfriends probably abused the children, abused the girls and the boys in the household. You know, you got these young kids who grow up, who dealt with all that. Some are able to lead productive lives, but there are those who aren't, because they've never got over what happened to them. That's why it's very important for these women to get some type of help. And I think that religion is where women are turning to. You know, we are very religious in the black community, but the women are way more religious in these communities seem more than men, because men are becoming more and more skeptical of the church, which they should be, especially the black church, because the pastor is no different than a guy who performs in front of his audience. You know how musical artists perform in front of their audience when they're on tour? It's the same thing with pastors. You even got traveling pastors. Like in my state, I don't know if y'all got in y'all state, there are pastors who literally travel from one town to one city to the next, getting paid to preach at different churches. You know? And then you have less and less men going to church, because they see that you got these young pastors who are coming into these churches pandering to the women. But I notice that we are quick to call out the government for what's going on in these communities, but we don't call out the black pastors for sowing the seeds of dysfunctional women. And I'll tell you how, because these young girls are going to be in these churches. They're going to hear what the pastor's saying. The pastor is giving them a pass, tell them that they do nothing wrong, that the men need to do this and that, this and that. All they have to do is pray to God, and he's going to make it better. God is going to make you a lot of money. All you got to do is pray to him. Hold on to that hope. All you got to do is donate to the 5 offerings during the service. You know? Right. Conferences. We had a ton of them, those church conferences. And they draw a lot of people. And you got these traveling pastors who go from these cities, go to churches full of women who are there to see them. They know who these guys are more. They know every traveling pastor like they know their favorite artist. They probably follow them on Instagram and Facebook. They know when they come into their city. It's a hustle. Just like what you got in the conscious community, that's a fucking hustle. Ain't no different than when you look at these pastors. Everybody should be skeptics. Everybody should be skeptical of the church. Because they are the ones taking the money out of the communities, out of these poor, black women, especially these older black women, these women who are in their 60s and 70s, who are traveling to churches through buses and cabs and family members just to go see their favorite pastor, to give them, a piece of their fixed income. And these women are dragging their kids to church to go hear from this scammer. I mean, this pastor. I'm telling you, man, the dream, the hope, selling hope is the biggest con of today. You got people on social media who want to give women a pass for whatever it is they do. I saw today that there's a famous skier called Lindsey Vonn, right? They asked her about Serena Williams kicking one of those male tennis players out of his press conference so she can go into the room. And the tennis player called her rude, and this woman defended Serena because you can't criticize Serena. You can't tell her that you're not attracted to her. Okay, shout out to the person for that. I have my phone right here with that cash app here. You know, we just hold on a second. See, you got a message. All right, but we got a lot of hope being sold out here. See, I'm a reality guy. I'm all about reality. Listen, man. Listen. I like a good conspiracy video here or there. I like a good, mystery. But I'm not one of those people that's going to consume that shit. I'm 30 years old, man. Why do I want to sit up here and consume conspiracies? So I don't consume hope. I don't want to hope for anything. I want to do. I want something to happen physically, not me dreaming it up in my mind. You know? So I want people to understand this. Like, I'm not against religion. I'm not saying you should ban it. You shouldn't support it. I've known good preachers growing up. I went to a church that had a good preacher. You know what I'm saying? The guy put his church right next to his community, which was a black community. And I've always praised him for that. He moved the church the closer to him. But you got some of these other guys who use religion to pull these women in. Women who are broken. Women who are seeking hope. Women who are seeking to erase their whole phase. And they're looking for the church to erase their whole phase. They don't want to remember when they went through that phase and say to themselves, that's their fault. They want to believe that there was an inner demon and, they just wasn't thinking right. Because trust and believe, if you made mistakes as a man, they're going to always bring it up, and that is why you have to be careful when you're dealing with a broken woman, because broken women will break you. They'll break you if you're not careful. I've seen girls in their 20s who literally have no soul. Like, you can look in their eyes, they have no soul. And they're younger than me because they have been completely ruined. One of the videos I saw from one of those girls, she went through a whole phase when she was 15. When she was like 14 and 15. I want to tell y'all why that's not unusual. Because I knew girls that age that got trains ran on them, that was getting it in with this guy, that guy, his homie. So that stuff goes on. That's why these girls need father figures, man. Because the streets will raise them. If you don't raise your kids, the streets will raise them. If you as a mother don't find suitable mates and you out here being a single mother, if you don't choose, first of all, if you don't choose the right man to procreate with, you're doomed to fail as a mother. And I'm not saying that for all single mothers, But I'm saying it for the women who have a bunch of young kids and no father in sight, not even a stepfather. And let me tell you something. That's why let me tell y'all this. Down here where I stay, dating sucks because the women down here are so broken, man. Some women are cool, but some of these women they have no social skills. They got kids already by the time they're 20. They've been dealing with ain't shit dudes for so long. They're going into their 30s and they're dating the same type of guys they dated when they're in high school. Guys that they may have a car, may have a job, but they ain't got no responsibility. They ain't paying no bills. They living with their grandmama, living with a relative. Just not seeking nothing in life. You know what I'm saying? And they're willing to deal with those guys. But I tell you what though, the girls, like the women in my state, they care more about getting education and seeking to work and make money, which is cool, but they don't seek to get good mates. I know chicks that talk about they got boyfriend this, boyfriend that, but your relatives are picking you up from school and from work. Where your boyfriend at? He ain't got no car? I've also seen my fair share of attractive single mothers, but they normally end up back with their baby daddy because ain't no dude trying to wife no single mother down here. You know what I'm saying? Dudes in my state that they ignorant as hell too, but they will deal with the female as long as they're sleeping with her. If they ain't sleeping with her, they're not fucking with her. That's why these chicks, they get with a guy, they get in line. Because they know, especially if they got kids, if he ain't smashing, you giving him problems, he not going to be there. Unless them his kids. Now, I will say this, though. I've seen dudes who I grew up with, who I went to school with, put up with a lot of BS just so they can be around their kids. Their baby mother will put them through so much, man, and they will tough it out just so they can be with their kids. Now, me, in the 4 years I've been making content, when I saw those videos, it just showed me that when all else fails, go the religious route. Go the God is my boyfriend, which is what these women are basically saying. They're dating God. They'll sleep. I heard one female say that Jesus is her boyfriend. I've heard that. I've heard that actually a good amount, man. They say they're not sleeping with nobody but Jesus. White Jesus at that. I'm telling you, religion has taken over the lives of a lot of these reformed thoughts. A lot of these reformed thoughts have allowed religion to take them over, and because of that, their relationships suffer because they put in that Bible in front of a man who could actually, basically, I'm going to say fix them, but can completely reform them. Because you can't really be reform until you pull a Sierra and get you a Russell Wilson. You know what I'm saying? A guy who's willing to build with you, even though you have baggage. You dated a lot of ain't shit dudes. But I just want a lot of you women who are in relationships with Jesus to understand that, sometimes sooner or later you're gonna want a physical man. Jesus should be a metaphor of something that you can rely on as far as faith. But you can't be going around telling men that you're in a relationship with Jesus. That, and being overly religious. That will drive a man away quicker than you having kids. The quickest way to get a man to not fuck with you is to tell him that you're I wouldn't say you're religious, but you go to church a lot and you're in a relationship with God. That Jesus is your man. That's the quickest way to get a man out of your life. Not just having kids. I mean, some dudes gonna be okay with you having kids. You know what I'm saying? But if you telling a guy that you're in a relationship with God, how do you expect him to take that? Like, seriously, you going to church 3, 4, 5 days a week? You know what I'm saying? How he gonna take that? Like the stream, people. You know? If you want to be inspired by stories, you want to be inspired by scriptures, that's fine, but don't be out there talking about how, you're a new, you're basically, you're following Christ, and you're uber religious, and you're in church almost every day. Instead of really trying to fix yourself, looking in that mirror that you have to do. But don't tell a guy that you're interested in that you are in a relationship with God. That shit's not funny. It's not funny to tell a guy you're in a relationship with the Lord. That's not funny. You know? So we really have to look at certain things, you know what I'm saying, and really analyze it. You have to use the Bible for its giving you sort of like a quotes to live by, It's like memes, but you shouldn't take it that seriously. I know you want to, get away from your whole phase. One of the videos that I saw from one of these women who said that she's now in a relationship with the Lord. She basically said she's been celibate for over 8 years. She's been celibate for over 8 years, and she hasn't slept with any guy since she went through her teenage hoe phase. I mean, that's any chick that goes through a teenage hoe phase is gonna be fucked up. Usually a hoe phase went between the ages of like 18 and like 22, 21. But when you go through it when you're 15, 14, wow. And with older guys who are in their late teens, probably older than that, probably older than that. One of the things that came up through some of the video research that I did was these newfound, religious women basically talked about their struggle with lust, their struggle with sex. They love having sex. They love partying. That lustful spirit will always be there. It will either be there through sex. It will be there through attention seeking. It will be there through being, materialistic. But it's going to be there, So we really have to look at where society is going. And you do have, because of how hard times are getting socially, I mean, people are literally going crazy. People are going crazy. Let me tell y'all this. I didn't speak on this, but y'all know I did the video about the young lady from the UK that took her own life, okay? Because she was not married and didn't have any kids by the age of 30, right? But she was in a relationship. So that's going to mentally screw up the guy that she left behind. He thinks that he did something wrong. He thinks that, he's going to blame himself because he's a man. And in society, they're going to look at you as if you did something wrong. Oh, she is, Yeba? Oh, jeez. But there was another story. I saw this on ESPN, what was it? Yesterday, I believe. I think it was right after, was it yesterday or the day before yesterday? And it was of a NFL. Y'all can look this up. There's an NFL player who plays for the San Francisco 49ers. His name is Solomon Thomas, right? Solomon Thomas and his family were on ESPN speaking about his sister who ended up taking her own life because she was unhappy. Because she was unhappy. They didn't know why. They just knew that she just told them that she just, just didn't, she was out of it, mood wise. And you would think with all the technology we have, all the ways of meeting new people and being able to travel, your brothers in the NFL, I'm pretty sure your parents who are together, I'm pretty sure, they're living good. But for this young girl to take her life, her brother playing the NFL, hasn't playing the NFL, what, a couple years? What's going on, Simply Jay? And then you take your own life, and then you leave your family behind to pick up the pieces? That's what people who take their own life don't understand. You're going to leave behind hurt people. Those people, yes, they're going to move on, but they're still going to wonder in their mind, why did this happen? Because you have a lot of unhappy people, especially a lot of unhappy women. Now, you do have male suicide that's been high, but women's suicide is getting higher. And society is being catered to women. It's being catered to women so much that women don't want that. Deep down, women want to be in a feminine role in a relationship with a man that they want, that they truly want to be with. They want to have a family. They want to feel loved. Some of these women have never felt love in their life. Don't even know what it's like to feel love, One of the women the videos that I saw, one of these, thoughts turn, church girls, she talked about how she was suicidal. And I'm saying to myself, are you suicidal because, you went through that whole phase and you have to remember the things that you did? Or was it from deeper trauma? Because there's a lot of deep trauma. There's a lot of women that are hurting. There's a lot of women that are hurting. When I see women get upset at me and they go at me in the comment section or they send me messages and emails, I can see the hurt. They're hurting. And they expect me to help them. They expect me to change my entire mindset to cater to them, to make them feel good about themselves. I'm just one guy speaking my opinion with facts, of course. Why do you want my approval so much? Why do you want me to be a spokesperson for you? Why are you so invested in what I say? There are people who are saying way worse than me. There are people who are willing to go the extra mile to prove their point. Why aren't you talking to them? Why aren't you trying to change their perspective? Why are you so upset and angry at me? It's because in a way, I'm right, but there's a part of you, the hurting part, that don't want to hear that. That's why I get psychological with people. I don't hold grudges with any of you because I don't know y'all. That's why I say I don't get into it with people. I don't care what anybody says about me. I'm not gonna get into it with you because it's enough energy. I'm putting enough energy into putting content out there, speaking to the people. I have no reason or no reason to go at anybody because we have bigger fish to fry. We have bigger issues. We have to deal with the fact that people don't want us saying anything. So when I see people, especially a lot of women who are hurt, who are hurting, who make content, who are on social media posting emotional things, it just shows me that this person needs love. They need psychological evaluations. I'm not being funny. They do. They need a hug. They need to know that somebody actually cares about them and just doesn't want to sleep with them. The hurt is still there. There are dudes that are hurt. I can sense the hurt in their voice. Not when their voice, but I've heard some guys who I can tell are very hurt. But when I see comments from certain guys, I can tell they're hurting too. They hurt. They're looking for some type of closure. You know, they're looking for to change whatever has happened to them. You have people literally taking their own lives on social media. There's a lot of people that are hurting right now. So that's why I have changed my perspective on certain things. I don't go as hard about certain things because I feel like there's too many hurt people out there as is. I don't need to be out here, you know, going hard and putting my energy into just hammering certain points or speaking to a certain group of people when I could be speaking to everybody. You know, I'm all about changing people's perspectives. The hurt is growing because of the political divide. People are so easily triggered. People are very thin-skinned these days, man. And I see how triggered some of y'all get. Y'all get triggered and angry over the wrong shit. We need to get triggered and angry over these communities being ran by foreigners and the foreigners mistreating us. That's what we need to be angry about. We need to be angry about the fact that these kids ain't got no good parenting, man. They don't have a father figure. You know? There's a lot that can be done. You know? But y'all got to understand, I don't speak for everybody. I speak for the people who want to be, you know, who want to hear what I have to say. Let me tell y'all something. People have came and went, you know, as far as the platform is concerned, you know. And the one thing that will always be you know, set in stone is the fact that it will always be logic and common sense over everything. I don't care what issues you have with me. You can never say that when I speak on religion, when I speak on social issues, I speak on it from a viewpoint of looking to the future, because all of you, especially a lot of you women that are raising kids, you need to be invested in the future. There has to be a way for you to get past that whole phase that you regret, and you carry that regret like a bag of bricks, because you're raising the next generation. We're already seeing how the media treats children. Look at how movies treat children. Look how society views children. Look how society views the old. It doesn't respect the old. It hates the old. These pastors take money from old people and don't even put nothing back into the community. Your future, especially as parents, because I'm not a parent, I'm speaking to the parents. You have to look at what's in front of you, because we are going to be a doomed society if we continue to go further and further left. And I mean that figuratively and literally, because we have a lot of effeminate energy in the men. We have a lot of women who have a lot of dick envy, who feel like they should be men, who want all the privileges of a woman but don't want to do the equal amount of work, put a lot of the pain that goes into being a man sometimes. Because we as men, we're able to emotionally carry a shit ton of baggage, but we can go through life every single day and you wouldn't even know it. When I talk about these reform thoughts, I'm speaking on also the fact that you have these reform thoughts who may have had abortions. Not only have they may have had one abortion, they probably have had two. They too do not care about the young. They too put their own having fun and doing what they want to do ahead of their own seed. And then they wonder why their relationships fall apart so easily and so quickly. You know, it'll be so easy for me to go political because I watch politics. I just don't post on it like I used to. Here and there I used to, but politics drain me. Like I can sit and listen to political talk for like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and I'm drained. So that's why I don't speak on politics because it's very mentally draining. I can't do it. I got so much other shit to talk about and do. I'm like, I can't do politics. Politics drains the shit out of you. If I did political content, I would need a day or two to really recuperate because the type of shit that goes on worldwide, the more red pilled you get, the more information you learn and you see things from a different viewpoint, it worries you, you know? I'm a Pisces. I can feel the energy around me. I can feel the energy a half a mile away. So, like I tell everybody, man, it's best to just do what makes you happy. Stop being so angry all the time. Stop looking for people to be upset at, and really focus on your life and focus on bettering yourself. Because at the end of the day, you know, you are responsible for your happiness. You know, I did a video today about I posted a video today about Olivia Munn, you know, talking about why she felt worthless after a previous relationship. And I said to myself, why do you need men to make you feel happy? You know, you should feel happy by, you know, being around people who make you happy, not people who are going to tear you down, not people who are going to make you feel less than. But see, when you have women who chase around men who want to be in a relationship more than that guy does, that guy's only with you because one, you can cook good. And two, he's getting sex on a regular until he meets somebody that he really wants to be with. Because trust and believe, you know, just because you think you look good, you got nice assets, nice tits, that don't mean that he gonna stay with you. He's just with you because sexually you fit what he likes. But sooner or later that guy's gonna move on. Unless you trap him with a baby, which some of these chicks be trying to do. You know, they be trying to trap these guys with a baby. You know, so he don't go off and be happy with another woman. But come on, he still can go off and be happy with another woman. All you're going to do is try to throw monkey wrenches into it. But we'll see how that works, okay? You know? We becoming more and more antisocial. I was thinking about today when I was driving around. I said, you know, we'll become more antisocial. Become more and more antisocial, man. Like, you know, we just don't connect with each other, especially women. Like, I can talk to older women. I can have a conversation with an older woman, right? But women, like, in their 20s or close to their 30s, like, there's no conversation to be had. Now, there was one girl I talked to the other day. She seemed like a cool, outgoing girl. But for the most part, the dry personalities, I see why these chicks are single. Dry personality, you know, they look like they're shell-shocked when you're talking to them because nobody talks to them. People are afraid to approach them. You know, I'm not afraid to approach anybody, you know. So I just think that, man, we are becoming more and more isolated. We are becoming more and more dependent on social media. We are becoming more dependent on our DMs, on our likes and comments and things of that nature, you know. But even if we DMing and talking on social media, there are still people out there with no social skills. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can get on the mic here and I can say what I want, talk my shit, you know. putting heifers who need to be put in check. But at the end of the day, those same women will respect me because they know I'm being honest. You know what I'm saying? That's why I will always be able to get with them quicker than you simp ass lame blue pill beta male Captain Save-Os. Okay? You Captain Save-A-Thoughts. I will always be able to get with these women over you. No matter how many women say that they don't like me, they're going to be even more that say they love me. That's why I like what I do. And that's why I hate the fact that you got these weak ass, rainbow flag waving lame idiots on Twitter who want to, get upset over the littlest thing. The littlest thing. Oh, you're making fun of me. You're making fun of me. You're making fun of me? I'm going to tell YouTube. I'm going to tell YouTube. I'm angry at you. What the fuck is that going to change, man? Like, you still going to be who you are, just mad at the world, And that's the problem, man. That's the problem, man. That's why you got to, understand, like, you live a better life when you can just be yourself. When you can just be honest and you can just be you. You know what I'm saying? And fuck with the people who like you for you. You can't smash every girl in the world. You can smash some, You can do anything, man. You can, in some countries, you can have multiple wives. I mean, you can just do whatever. You got women that want to forget about their whole phase. You got women who will literally, slept around with probably like 100 dudes, but they'll be celibate for about a year and then talk about their virgins. But they're not going to tell you that they're born again virgins. They're going to say that they're virgins because they're trying to be whoever it is they want to be. They are basically being who they want to be. I'm not condoning lying, but I'm just telling y'all what be going on out here. I've literally had females tell me that they're virgins and they laugh. And I know that they're full of shit when they do that. The mask be slipping. That mask be slipping. I just want to see people do better, man. Especially my black people. We are very hated out here, but we hate each other more. We get no respect. Well, I'm not saying all of us, because there are black people who get respect, but as a community, because of what goes on, we're not respected. And it's because financially, we can't hold our own weight. So I implore all of you to gain some happiness, because you only have one life to live, people. Are you going to live your life being afraid and, being a conspiracy theorist and believing that everything is a conspiracy, that you can pray and hope things to change, or are you just going to go out there and make that change? That's what I'm looking for. Let's see. I'm going to see about getting the phone lines rubbed up if I can, so y'all can call in and speak to me. I know some of y'all want to speak to me. Yeah, y'all ever have a conversation with a woman and she tell you that she's a virgin and she's smiling? She trying not to laugh? That lets you know, man, ain't nothing virgin on her but the hairstyle. Ain't nothing virgin but the hairstyle on her, man. I'm gonna tell all you the women here. No, I'm not saying that you should tell a guy how many dudes you've dated, but like don't but like don't be like you a virgin and shit and we both know you lying. Tell the truth. Tell the truth. Because it will set you free, goddammit. It'll set you free. God created us all unequal. You know why? Because some of us can run faster and jump higher and be very much more smarter than the next person. Okay, let's see. Take a few phone calls. I'm trying to keep it, y'all understand these phone calls can be a bit I'm gonna say draining, but it can definitely sap you a little bit. But yeah, call in real quick. You want to speak to me live on this Saturday night? Make sure y'all have liked the stream. So we really have to look into where we are as a people. But I listen. I know a woman ain't gonna tell you her body count. Like that. That's like pulling teeth. You're not gonna. That's not gonna happen. Shout out to Wayne Tillman. Sup, Jay? You can't expect real if you don't be real. It's a good point. You're live with Jada Black. What's going on?
Hello, Jay. What's good, brother Rob?
What's going on, brother Rob?
Yeah. Just wanted to call in and check in with you and say thanks for the messages that you're giving out here and everything like that. I also wanted to holler at you real quick and ask you, what do you think? They're saying out there, like, supposedly by 2045, we as black people won't be owners. We're just going to be renters and consumers, and pretty much the other races are going to be controlling the black dollar.
Well, a lot of that's going on right now. A lot of us are renting and not really owning much. I think it's due in part to wages, as far as because you don't have a huge boost of black entrepreneurs. People striking out on their own or investing. But I can definitely see that being more of, because we are already doing that renting and doing a lot of that basically consuming. Yeah, we the largest consumer right now. All it's gonna do is that number just gonna grow. Yeah.
Yeah, man, that's a sad thing, man. I wish we could do better and everything like that, and I hope it eventually gets better and we wake up and see that, the powers and, like our ancestors said, owning our own land and doing for ourselves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's the mindset that gotta change, man. Too many people are scared and afraid of, that they're gonna be destroyed if they decide to build anything. I think that mindset is too prevalent in black people.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, thanks for the little time and the message. I'm not gonna keep you too long. I know you're getting back to the show, and thanks for taking my call.
All right, thanks, bro. Thanks for calling in, man.
All right.
All right, shout out to the brother with the call. All right. Yeah, we already consuming a whole hell of a lot now. I get to see that rising even more. Yeah, man. I saw this one Asian guy getting his ass whooped by some females. These dudes ain't. People say black men put their hands on women. These Asian dudes ain't got no issue putting their hands on a woman, man. Especially black women. They ain't got no problem putting their hands on y'all, man. They don't fear y'all at all. They don't fear black people at all. They fighting your women. Like, it's crazy, man. That says a lot about how they feel about you in general. That's why I say, man, you can be about it or you can talk about it. Instead of being out here talking about what you gonna do and what you gonna boycott and what you gonna support, then don't support it. That's all you gotta do. But then again, are black people gonna support businesses of their own, even if there's good quality. Let me tell y'all something, man. Walmart got the worst customer service, but I bet the majority of you will go to Walmart instead of a black-owned store. I'm telling you. What's going on, Kent? Say you seen that video? What's good, China White? Yeah, nigga, that is sad. Yeah, but that Asian guy. But y'all know what's crazy? You have black people trying to break it up. And he's out there literally fighting. Man, I would have smacked him on the side of his fucking face, man. What the fuck you doing fighting these chicks? Man, I ain't trying to break up shit. You want to put your hands on them, that's what you get, Mr. Asian man. That's your ass, Mr. Asian man. You're live with Jada Black. What's going on? Hey, what's going on?
Hey, what you were saying just now about going to a black establishment, I definitely agree. Every time I go to like a black hair store or somewhere and try to support, they don't have anything together, and they're very rude.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's probably why we never want to give money to each other. But I did enjoy the show today. It was really good.
Thank you.
What was I going to say? Sorry, I just made some really hot wings, so my mouth is like burning.
Well, make sure you drink a little ice water. You know.
What did you say?
Drink a lot of ice water, you know what I'm
saying? Yeah. But what you were saying about how people don't have social skills and women are not happy out here, that's very true, you know. It gets like, especially if you're a woman, you don't really have anybody to talk to, because when it comes to other women, you know, you can't really talk to them. They don't really want to talk about anything of substance, you know, other than men and maybe makeup and going out. So I feel like we don't communicate. It's just, you know, being on Instagram, scrolling on Instagram. Right now, I have a coworker that I usually wouldn't be attracted to. Like, looking at him is not somebody like, oh, I want to date him. He's not 6'4", you know, he's not this or that. But working with him, and he's just working a regular job, you know what I'm saying? And I've been around guys that have money, that are handsome, that are tall, and they have like rocks for brains, you know what I'm saying? And just like talking to him, and just, you know, having that conversation and him being able to do something for me, like mentally, is good, because, you know, I'm not used to that, and that's winning me over in itself, you know what I'm saying? So if, you know, somebody that's listening to your show that may feel like, you know, some type of way towards women, they might look at somebody like me and think, oh, she ain't gonna talk to me. Oh, she sleeps around. She's that. And that's not even the case. You know, don't go out just hating women off the bat or judging us. You know, just have a conversation. Talk about the things that you like to talk about. You know, don't. I feel like a lot of people are probably holding themselves back because of thoughts that they might already have in their minds. You know, mindsets that you can't be walking around with a chip on your shoulder.
No, and
so,
yeah. Well, I was gonna say this, you know, even though I think women are, you know, visual too, you know, materialistic or whatnot, they like definitely. A guy who look a certain way, but I think there's a lot of women who do have a thirst for knowledge, who want to learn, they want to follow, they want a man that they can be around, that they can learn from. And I think women are becoming more drawn to that, more so than
women are definitely drawn to that. If you can teach me something, if you can teach me how to make money, if you can teach me how to, you know, control my emotions, because women are really good at that. You know, men are good at that. That's something that you can add to our lives, you know. It's not just always going to be, you know, that you're good looking or you're bringing money to the table. Of course, you have to have, like, be somebody that can make money, that can, you know, work for themselves and be an established man. That's attractive. But I think men go about things all wrong, just like women can go about things all wrong, just because of what we might have, you know, any preconceived notions that we might have in our mind, you know?
Yeah.
It's not good to have. But yeah, I really your show has me thinking all over the place, but I really did enjoy the show today.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you enjoying the show. All right. You like the stream and everything?
All right.
All right. Cool.
Bye.
All right. Thank you. Shout out to her for the call. Appreciate that. Say she liked the stream. That's good, man. Of course, I love the feedback. You know what I'm saying? You know. You know. Shout out to everybody that still like the stream, people. Why do you think women are going to college more? You know, women. You know, have women that are very eager to prove that they're not just a pretty face, or, you know, they're not one dimensional. They want to prove, like, they're out proving themselves. You know, you have women that are following, you know, men for information, knowledge. You got other men who does that as well, but women are doing it more. But what a lot of people don't understand is that when a woman supports a guy, she supports him. Whether it's female or not, women will support somebody very strongly, because if they hear you and they like what you're saying, their belief in you is going to be very large. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be very large. You know? It's going to be very large. I see you, cool, Dan. Shout out to some of the new people I'm seeing in here. I see you, Top City. Line open. May take a few more phone calls, you know. But this society, man, this society has been built for women. They're trying to exit out men who show too much alpha in them. You're live with Jada Black. What's up?
Man, I want to shout out and say I like the stream so far. It's definitely an awesome subject that you're talking about right now.
Oh, cool. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, it's like, we especially a product of the church growing up, you know what I mean? And I found myself becoming very simple. I preaches, breathing on my throat, saying that women are always right. They're never wrong. Love your wife above all things. And then last was it drove me to, like you would say, MGTOW in a way. Like I literally got angry and I became became distrustful of women. You know what I'm saying? Because when you get to the you get to the world, you begin to see all the mess that women can do or are capable of. Now I'm just recovering from all that. I'm learning that at an older age, around 30, 35, 37. You know what I mean? Understanding that now that women are just human beings just like us, and that was a hard lesson to swallow. How do you feel about that?
How I feel about women of today, or changing from the mindset of being in church?
Yeah, so it's the mindset comes from church.
Well, I grew up in the church. I went to church when I was a kid a lot. Used to go 3 days a week. My mother and my sisters, right? So when I became a teenager, I started to, I wouldn't say rebel, but I didn't want to go. I'm like, man, this is some, in my mind, I'm like, this is some bullshit. Why I got to go to church? And this was in my early teens, and I stopped going, and I just didn't like the energy there. It was very catty. There was a lot of messiness, and I just wasn't learning anything. you can chop it up to being young. But I just, even at that age, I didn't feel like I was learning anything. I didn't know why especially all these women wanted to be there so much. But they were looking for the leadership they didn't have at home, you know. But men we're not looking for that. Now I noticed some guys on social media looking for that, but we're not looking for the church.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing. That's another thing about the church. There are a lot of former thoughts in there, man, who become prophetess, who become deaconesses and stuff. Mm-hmm. And you know what I mean? It's just when you see, like when you take the red. So what happened to me is literally like, kind of like, you remember Matrix? How Neo was like, I won't believe it.
Yeah.
I was in that mode for a while. Mm-hmm. I was like, this is sad. I was like 32 when I realized it took a long time, going from church to church.
Listen, man, like there's been things like in my life, it took me a while to figure out. Like it took me years, like to really figure out what I wanted to do, where my life was gonna go. Sometimes it takes a while. It takes life experience to make necessary changes, but you make those changes for good, like there's no going back. Yeah.
Exactly, and I mean that's one thing. Like as soon as it happened, I was driven to little anger. Like, and it was worse because I faced a lot of rejection in church, whether it was from church, because I thought I was a comic artist, musician. And it's funny, you would think that, being a musician, you would get acceptance. But, and from the women, women in there, I thought there was always a constant goalposting. One thing I hate these pastors do is usually pull their sleeve about certain things. They push the goal. Oh, brother, you're not praying enough. Oh, brother, you're not doing this. Oh, brother, you're not wearing the right. Constantly, man. That was an aggravating thing. I don't know if anybody can relate to that in the chat room or yourself. They constantly push the goalposts, and then we find when reality smacks in the face, they ain't got nothing to say. Oh, you got to donate to this, and you know what I mean. Some content creators sound like that. Not all, but there's certain content creators who sound like that. Yeah, which is sad.
Well, everybody do things their own way, and there's an audience for everything.
It's actually pretty much like a PUA. They can sell you a drink, you get any girl, but you can get to God, but if you do this, it's always like that condition.
Well, I will say, I will say this though, like if they're a PUA, you'll know it. You'll know it. Somebody's PUA.
Like dudes like 9 and 12, that is a professional beggar, dude. Whew, that's your boy. Anyway, man, I want to hold you up. Young and awesome show. Shout out to your topic, man. I definitely keep supporting you. Always keep doing what you're doing, man.
All right, man. Thanks for the call. All right.
Hey, no problem. Thanks for having me, man. Peace out.
All right, man. Peace. Shout out to the caller. Yeah, man. Our experiences shape us, but when you make that change in life, you got to make that change for good. You know what I'm saying? Make that change for good, Let's see what it says. Okay, shout out to ReIigious. I appreciate it. You live with Jada Black. What's going on?
It's Ty City.
What's going on, Ty City?
Nothing much, man. I was this a good topic.
Yeah.
The first thing that came to mind is with women that run the church, you know what I'm saying? Especially after they made all the mistakes in the world, was Sierra and Russell Wilson, and how his faith in God and all this, like, kind of pushed off the fact that he taking on a woman that got high miles.
Yeah, and it's
like being born again or something. You should take her now, like, now that she repented.
Yeah, there's a lot of repenting. I think so, because they're very religious too. They're a religious couple, and you know, she repented from Future and 50 Cent and some of these other guys she was with, and you know, got with Russell and has made it work so far. You know, now they coming out with a reality show. Now they got a reality show coming out.
And you know that's gonna be centered around their faith.
Yeah, it's gonna be faith based. Yeah.
Hey, also I was listening to the female caller that was before the previous caller. And I noticed that she said nothing about loyalty and everything about options.
Well, she probably didn't get everything she wanted to say out. I think she was a little nervous, but because I don't think she was talking about relationships. She was saying faith and loyalty in relationships.
What I'm saying is she named all the qualities that were just superficial, and then when it came to the guys, kind of like she'd say, "But I'll settle for this."
Listen, man, no woman's gonna settle. You know, if I know the women don't settle.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So to me, it's like, help me control my emotions, help me do this, and help me do that. Yeah. And meanwhile, I'm at work with the tall guys. I'm at work with the it's craziness.
No, I think honestly though, I just think that when it comes to dating, a lot of people just got to get out there and they got to figure out what works for them. You know, because too many people get with each other, man, and that shit don't work. Like they get together for 3 weeks and it over. You got people putting pictures of them on social media and shit. Then the next thing you know, you don't see the dude again. You know, you don't see him again. Yeah. Man, that's how I was just calling to say that. That the first thing that came to my mind was Sierra talking about how much faith her man got and all the hoorah. I'm just like, what? Yeah. Like I just remember she talking about I didn't give him no sex and I made him wait and all this other shit. And then Future come out bragging about smashing on the first day and shit. Yeah, Future doing this thing, man. Future, she actually keeps bringing him up, but yeah.
But yeah, man, I ain't want too much, man. I'll just holler at you, man.
I appreciate it, Ty City.
Yeah.
Alright, shout out to Ty City, the call. Yeah, man. You know who also comes to mind? Megan Good comes to mind. Megan Good comes to mind. Because she's in a religious relationship. You know what I'm saying? You know, she's dating a pastor. She talked about the struggles of being in church and being judged, even though she'll tell you too that she went through a bit of a thought phase. You know what I'm saying? The only serious relationship she's been in is the one she's in now. You know what I'm saying? You're live with Jada Black. What's going on? Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, what's going on? Yo, what's good?
Man, I'm a big fan of your show, and always, just like my first year as Ray Pill, and this stream here is.
Thank you, I appreciate it, man.
What I can say is this problem here that you're speaking on, this has been going on for about 20-some years, and I only see that it's just going to keep on going, and it's just going to keep on going.
Yeah, it's a constant spinning wheel, especially when you have women that don't want to hear our opinion on it, especially as men. You know, they don't care what we think. You know.
And I agree with you said. What people have to do is they have to find what works for them in the dating scene.
Yeah.
You know, you have to find. Everybody has a specific type. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, everybody. Yeah, pretty much most people have their type. You know.
Okay. So with that being said, you have, I think, men and women, they have to go for that specific type that they pick, whether it be whether it be a short woman, medium-sized woman, tall woman, or intellectual woman. I know I myself, I connect with a lot of intellectual women.
Mm-hmm. And it's very easy, you know, because you could just have a conversation over the phone and you can feel them out mentally, you know. Because physically she may be what you like too, or she may not. But if you talk to them and you're like, okay, I can hold a conversation with this person, you know. So
right.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing I see happen. I'm sorry for the show. One thing I see happen is that in the past, me myself, I would meet people in Walmart and I would connect with them, man. I'd be out there having conversations with them so long. But now, as you know, as things happen more in the world, people are not connecting like they used to be in the past, and that's a big problem. That's a big problem.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, people are very antisocial these days, especially a lot of women. You walk up to them, you can tell nobody approaches them. You know, they don't have conversations. They don't know what to say. You know, you ask about the news, they're like, huh? You know,
it's just like it's just like the movie Matrix. Everybody is stuck to the Matrix. When I mean stuck to the Matrix, they're on the phone, they got their headphones, and Walmart is my atmosphere. Whenever I'm at Walmart in the past, I see a woman and I will go up to her and I will talk to her, and I will ask her if she was single. It's either yes or it's either no. Right. And it's just that simple. If you have a man, boom, I'm gone. I can take him. Now, some guys, they still do this. They'll ask, can I be your friend? Are you serious? That's high school.
Hell
Why are you still doing
That's
high
a waste
school
of time.
Yeah.
That's a waste of time. That's a waste of time. Be her friend. She probably got like 20 friends, man. Yeah, that's a waste of time, man.
Right. Right. And I only approach women that's single when we connect. Because when I'm in Walmart, I'm looking around and see if she's probably with a dude or something, and I'm not trying to get no conversation, you know.
Well, yeah. Usually, if a girl is at a store or something with a guy, he's gonna be right there with her. He's not veering off, probably because she has the money and he don't. You know. Right. So he gonna be right there. So you'll know if she's with a dude. He'll be right there next to her.
Right. And people gotta understand the best place to meet a woman is at a grocery store. Why? Because everybody gotta come and make groceries, you know?
Yeah, that's very interesting. I agree. There's a lot of people at stores, especially Walmart. During the day, has a lot of people, you know?
I would say what's kind of hard to pull a woman is the mall. That can be somewhat difficult. I had read a story about some incel dude. He had got shot down by a female, and I think he harmed somebody because she shot him down.
No, I didn't hear about that, but that's crazy. Yeah, the mall the mall is because people coming in and out, and you know, people walking trying to get places. Man, it's not the best place if you're trying to pick up. But you can try. Right. I mean, you can try.
Right, and I'm gonna say this that I'm actually gonna go. Again, I like your show. I follow everything because why? You are the most logical. And I know you say you have been raised up in the church. I've been raised up in the church as well. And me personally, I think you will make a good preacher. Why? Because people follow you. People follow you because your logic is on point. And your platform is YouTube, and we are your church. And every time you go live, people are going to follow you because they want that knowledge. That's why I think you would make a good preacher. You probably beg to differ.
Really? Wow. I jokingly said I could start a church. I did say that jokingly,
I'm in church myself, and but this actually was my first time calling, and I finally was able to catch you live on the Saturday.
Yeah.
So thanks for having me.
All right, thanks for calling in, man. I appreciate it. All right.
All
right. Shout out to the brother. He says you think I'll make a good preacher. Do y'all agree? You think I'll make a good preacher? Because that's really all you need is, a few, a loyal few who are willing to follow you, willing to listen to you, willing to gain something from your words. Eva says yes. Shades of Pink says hell no. Gruffo Dollar started his church. Yeah, I know. Yeah, you can meet women anywhere, but it just timing, you know what I'm saying? I think sometimes the best place to meet a woman is when she, is not real knowledgeable or she may need help with something. It's all about being able to have that moment, But some women don't like to be approached, but women are getting dolled up now just to go to the gym. You got women wearing full makeup go to the gym. Shout out to Real Virtues. Jaye, are Jews, or are they white people? From what I heard, they're black from some people. You're live with Jada Black. What's up? Yeah. Hello.
Hi.
Hey, what's going on? What's your name? You want to tell me your name?
Lee Red One. I was in the comment section. I did want to call in just to say a little something for the women.
Okay, all right. Shout out to you.
Hey, what's up? So I just wanted to say I think a lot of these women, not to defend whole behavior or thought behavior. I don't defend it.
Okay.
But what I will say, I think a lot of these women are going to church because they are missing a man in their life, and I don't think it's fair to really look down on them because they never had a man.
Well, I don't look down on them. I'm just saying that they went through these phases and they're now making a religious figure basically their boyfriend, and I'm speaking on it from the fact that this is becoming more and more normal, or normalized, not from I don't like these people, or it's behavior that's becoming normalized that is actually keeping them from finding relationships that they actually want to be in.
I mean, do we really think relationship is the goal, or do we think marriage is the goal?
For some people it's not. Clearly there are some women who rather be alone and be single. That's fine. That's their choice. I always say that. Everybody has their choices in life. That's what they choose to do. But I'm speaking on this because I want to know, has anybody ever thought this and what their opinions on women getting religious after a hoe phase? Because I'm pretty sure if these women were around the guy that they like, trust me, they will drop that whole, Jesus is my man very quickly.
Of course, they went through their whole life without anybody. So
I doubt that. They've been around men, all right. Okay, too much.
Yeah, but those men were misusing and abusing them.
No, those women made those choices. They made those choices. Listen, I've been around women who either wanted to date me or didn't. And that's that was their choice, right? So that's their choice to sleep around, and they admitted it. In the videos I saw, women would admit that they chose to do those things, and now they've chosen to be celibate or chosen to turn their life to God. One of the girls actually is in a full-fledged relationship, but is still talking about how Jesus is her man.
Okay, I can't defend that one, but I know most of these women are just repeating the behaviors of their mothers.
I spoke about that earlier.
That's all they're doing. That's all they're doing, and I think it's very easy and it's not easy for a man, but I think it's easier for a woman if she meets a man with that energy that shows her that there is a better way. And a lot of these women see Jesus as that path because, well, yeah, I still go to the club on Saturday, but I feel like I'm going to church on Sunday, so none of that count because I didn't get really what I wanted out of that club seat, you know, because I didn't even come home with the man from the club, or if I did, he left that morning. But now I'm going to go to this man who I know who'll be there at least every Sunday, you know, and I think a lot of women feel that way because they are so used to people walking out of their life. It's easier for a man to walk away from a situation than a woman because women usually are more invested in their area. A lot of times they're afraid to venture out, and so all they know is their city and where they're from. And whatever men are there are the men who they date. And if those men are just passing these women through, that's all they know.
Yeah, but you also got women now who don't like to be approached. They don't like the men in their city. You know what I'm saying? They think that they can find better outside of it. You do got that mindset as well out there for some reason. Unless you're gonna move away, I don't see your dating life changing if you don't like the men in your city. You know what I'm saying?
Literally, that's what I had to do. I'm from South Florida, and I had to come to a different area just to be with the man in my life. I'm now a resident of Wisconsin, but that's because we were looking for each other almost. You know, like
wait a minute, hold on.
He wanted a wife, I wanted a husband.
Okay, so did you meet him while you were in Florida and then moved to Wisconsin?
Yes, of course. We used to work together, so we worked together for a few years.
Oh, okay. So you just went to sort of consummate everything, right?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. So you're like a
right.
So you would be considered a success as far as moving from one area to another. Well, you already knew the guy, but you still moved to a different area, you know, with the guy, right? Okay. Well, you definitely give advice to some of these women out here struggling. You know what I'm saying? Some of these women are they struggling bad. Okay. I think you can give really good advice to them, you know?
I think those men give up on those women.
No, I don't think so.
I know I wasn't perfect when I met my man.
You know what's crazy? But y'all worked together, so he got to see your, you know, both sides of you probably when you were angry or, you know, probably told him things about yourself that you probably didn't tell anybody else, you know? You let him get to know you. I mean, that's why it works.
Yeah, that's the thing. But he wanted to. I'm just as standoffish as any woman you done named on this show. I'm very standoffish. I'm not a friendly person when it comes to like just meeting random people. That's very hard for me, especially from the area where I'm from. Most people are just trying to get over on me.
Well, so somebody has to be able to talk to you in a very calm manner and just speak to you and not through you or anything like that. You'll open up, you know. That's how I've seen it. You know what I'm saying? You just gotta find people who can open you up, you know. But it is hard to trust people. I'm not gonna say it is, because it is hard to trust people.
Yeah, you got to give people. I think patience is what most people in the Black community don't have because we never watched our parents go through anything. My parents been married for 30-something years. I have watched them go through every phase of a relationship. So I'm not ready to run away just because something's not working right now. Because you never know. In a couple more years, y'all might be more of a successful couple than y'all would have been single.
Right.
And we're not talking to each other. We're not giving each other that patience. Those women who are trying to erase their thought history, really, if they had a father, like you said, in their life, he would have made sure she wouldn't have went through that phase. But all she sees is her mother who does this repeated, you know, blah, blah, blah. And then we wait so long to try to marry these women. Like, you're waiting until she's like 35. Well, I think she's over it. No, you probably should have got that woman while she was younger, more impressionable. And we just don't, men aren't being pushed on these. Men are thoughting too.
Of course.
They so caught up in they thought. The women thought it. So
I mean, of course,
if he out there cheating, she out there cheating.
But
that's
there
just logic.
But you know, there's women that will say they don't want a man who other women don't want. So what does that tell you? That relationship is doomed to fail already. You know. All right, I'm gonna get.
I didn't catch that last piece. But okay.
Oh, I thought you was hanging up. Okay, thank you. I thought you had already hung up. God damn it! But I appreciate you calling in. All right.
Cool.
All right, call in next show. I like talking to her. She found success outside of South Florida. Yeah, I thought she had already hung up. But shout out to her, man. Shout out to her for calling in. I thought she had, I was about to go ahead and get to another call. I thought she was, already wrapping the call. But I appreciate you calling in. Yeah, sometimes, man, you need a breath of fresh air. But first, you need to actually, get to know the guy that you like. You know what I'm saying? Get to see the personality that person has. Because women, man, they going off looks and how much, swag you have, what other hoes you got. Like, come on, man. Like, you got women who know they too old to be talking about do a dude got hoes, man. What? Chick by 45 talking about do you got hoes or not? I appreciate that, Leslie. Thanks for calling in. Yeah, Wisconsin, I know it's very cold up there, man. The Midwest is crazy. I can only imagine the Northwest. Not Northwest, but the North Midwest, whatever. The North. But salute to everybody that's here. But yeah, man, people should be connecting more. A lot of women who are listening to me, just do me one thing. Do me one solid, all right? Just go out and be more inviting, body language wise, towards men who actually show interest towards you. Read men, don't be in there ignoring everybody. Just go in there and read dudes to see, don't just not Leezy. Okay, Leezy. I told you, Leezy, I'm awful with names. Okay. But shout out to you for calling them. It's crazy what you're hanging in there, okay? Well, hopefully it works out for you. Everybody should find love somewhere. People shouldn't be alone, man. This is the world is getting crazy. And people need to find love because people are getting crazy. It's almost like the movie The Crazies. The movie The Crazy shows you exactly what we are becoming. That movie came out in 2010, shows you exactly what we are becoming. We are becoming the crazies. Just crazy shit being done for no reason. Like, what the fuck? He done went crazy. You got people committing suicide. You got people taking the life of their young ones. There's a lot of hatred out there. Yeah, I know you. At first, I was like, is her? Oh, yeah, it's her. Hey, have y'all noticed that majority of my callers, my female callers, the majority of them, if not all of them, sound feminine? They don't sound, with deep voices and manly. They sound like women. Most of the females that don't like me for some reason, they all got deep, raspy voices. They talk, they got filthy potty mouths. They don't know how to really speak to you. They speak to you like they one of the dudes, Yeah, Marie, that was a sad story, but that's probably not the only one. There are others, just like that one. You know, these young women trying to fit a standard. They see everything around them. Every other woman around them are happy. You know, they have a family, have a husband, they have children, they have a life. They're building their own legacy. They want to have that, you know. They're changed their last names. You know, I think most women deep down want to be able to hyphen or change their last names. You know what I'm saying? Build a whole new family that will build a legacy of maybe great people. You know? That is what we thought being in this country was about, building legacies, right? Yeah, D. Most of the chicks that have called my show that didn't like me, that wanted to talk shit to me, those women, they not getting no sex, even from their husband. Their husbands is you know, working late, you know, denying them the D, so they come on YouTube looking for people to yell and scream at. You know, that goes on. That goes on. You know, she got to go use the vibrator for like the 10th year in a row in her marriage. That might be it for the calls. I don't see nobody calling in. I'm not going to be on here too long. You know, I did a video about, you know, Instagram considering taking off the likes feature. And there were women that said they would leave Instagram. I truly believe that. Because they got to get that daily dose of validation somewhere. You know, they got to get it somewhere, you know. They got to get their daily dose of validation, people. Father your children, man. Father your sons. Father your daughters, man. You don't want them out there seeking validation on social media, man. But everybody needs some love out here. You know. There's just too much non-love going on out here. And these people just have so much bitterness and resentment built up to the point to where they're mad and angry about everything. You know, when we should be seeking a way to find happiness. We're not finding that happiness because we're mad at the world. We're mad because we're not happy. You know? But like I say, these are the lives that you chose. You choose to be a thought and continue your whole phase through numerous amounts of years after, you know, you turn a certain age, like 30 or 40, you know. I did the video on the woman that slept with 375 men. And a dude told me that wasn't a high enough number. I'm like, bro, how many men do you expect her to have been with? Because that's 375 men during her 20s, during her late teens and 20s, dude. She probably didn't even calculate her 30s. She ain't even calculate her 30s. You know? Like you had Megan Thee Stallion say she sleeps with her ex-boyfriends because she doesn't want to get a high body count. And she doesn't care if the dudes have girlfriends. But you still got women who want to sit up there. Thank you, Nolan. Appreciate it. You still got women that are going to support her. You still got women that's going to support her. She can do no wrong. But she's admitting that she will still sleep with her exes. And we don't even know how many exes. These could be about 30 dudes. And she can pick and choose which one, no matter if the dude's in a relationship, no matter if he's married. She still think that she has claim over him. That's how women see other women. They're going to put their happiness over yours, even if they have to sleep with your husband to do it. Thanks, Faith. I think you're new here. It's my first time seeing you, but shout out to you. Shout out to all the new people. Listen, I know a woman is gonna go through a phase where she slept around a little bit. Listen, that's what you're doing. I don't hold a person's past over them unless they're repeating the same cycle over and over. If they're repeating the same cycle over and over, then hold on a second. Then that person is not going to change. And there's no reason to think that they're going to change. Like if you in your 40s and you still having one night stands and sleeping around with different dudes, like you ain't going to change, man. I know RTS, that's a lot of back and forth because we don't know how many exes. she didn't round off a number. She just said exes, so it could be a bunch of them. You know what I'm saying? She just picking and choosing, But her fans support her, so you know she can do no wrong. She can definitely do no wrong. For a woman with a high body count or one who recycles X. If a woman has one or two exes that when she's single, she goes back and dates, listen, that's her past. Like, but if she has, 30 dudes and she's sleeping with them, it's the same as if she's single, to be honest with you. It's the same as she's sleeping with random guys because you're going back to ain't no telling how many different dudes. So it's, we don't know the number, Yeah, we've stopped taking phone calls, family. We done stopped taking phone calls, Well, Jaye Raquel, there's a lot of women that can't go without sex while single, especially if she's a young girl that has a high sex drive, She's gonna go back to the well. No matter if he's in a relationship, no matter if he's celibate, he might be celibate, but she's still gonna want to sleep with him. He might be with another woman. She don't care, She got to get hers, But that's gonna hinder her new relationships because she's gonna be comparing the new guys to her exes. She's going to be comparing. See, the worst thing ever is to date somebody and they're constantly comparing you to the exes. If you have, women should never date a guy unless they've completely moved on. Because for the most part, men aren't going to be measuring their new girl to their exes like that. The only exception would be if he was married to a woman for a long time. But even then, he's going to make sure that you're not like her in any way, shape, or form. Maybe looks wise, but personality, he wants you to be completely different. You know what, Shades of Pink, I misspoke on that. You're right. 40-year-old chicks be having high sex drives too. You might be right about that. I mean, I can only judge from your experiences, okay? So if a woman is measuring you, like if you ever hear a woman, like you say something and she say, my ex say that, yeah, that's not going to last very long. Bring something new and original. But, some people don't like new and original. They like things the way it is, you know what I'm saying? They really don't want anything to change. Look for the same qualities, The same qualities you looked in before, in the guys that you dated before. You have women that will talk about being in abusive relationships, that their relationships are mostly abusive. It's because you're looking for that same character trait in the guy that you're with. You're looking for that same character trait. You know what I'm saying? That character trait is what draws you to that person. You know what I'm saying? A guy could have a personality where he can be, very controlling, very manipulative. You will seek that out because, you think that that is, the norm when honestly it really isn't. But I must say good night and bid all of you adieu. And I will see y'all on the next live show. Salute to everybody that's here. Shout out to all the mods. Shout out to the people that super chatted, donated, appreciate it. Everybody that fucks with me on Patreon. I will say this though. I may take this show down, but I could repost it. Record it because I'm actually recording now because of what's going on YouTube. But we'll see. We'll see. But shout out to everybody that's here. This has been a really good stream, man. And I appreciate the support from all of y'all. It means a lot. Some of y'all need to become part of the travel crew. And when I mean the travel crew, I mean follow me all over social media to make sure that y'all are getting notifications. You know what I'm saying? So, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, become part of the travel crew. Hopefully nobody takes that name. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Yeba. Says, great show, food for thought. Night, everyone. Good night, Yeba. And good night to the mods and to everybody else in the chat. And I will see y'all on the next live show. All right? And enjoy the rest of your weekend, too. All right?